The Australian government recently presented a new climate policy that would help meet the international goal of reducing carbon dioxide emissions. The Albanian government now faces the choice of approving up to 28 potential coal mine developments that could make it more difficult to meet those targets. According to an analysis performed by the Australia Institute, if all 28 of these projects were approved and carried out, they would add 16 million tonnes to the country's annual coefficient dioxide levels, and 564 million tonnes overseas after being exported and burned. Additionally, if the developments lasted their projected lifetimes, they would add up to 18 billion tonnes in emissions. The task of making approval choices for these projects now lies with the Environment Minister, Tanya Plibersek. The Australia Institute Research Director, Rod Campbell, stressed that Plibersek has the power to decide the fate of these projects and that they don't just appear out of thin air one day. The website provides a detailed breakdown of all the 28 projects referred to the government, featuring the biggest projects such as the China Stone Coal Mine, the Peak Downs Coal Mine, and the Alpha North Coal Mine project. The Australia Institute's Coal Mine Tracker website also highlights all the other proposed gas developments that need approval under the Environment Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act. All of this goes against the warnings of world climate scientists and the Greens' call for a ban on new fossil fuels within the country. The plans include an effective cap on total on-site industrial emissions and a requirement that some gas developments spend more than originally agreed on carbon offsets. This could potentially prevent some of the fossil fuel developments from being approved, according to the Greens. Furthermore, the climate change minister is required to assess any new project that emits more than 100,000 tons of CO2 a year in order to determine its consistency with the goal of bringing down industrial emissions. Independent Senator David Pocock has expressed his support for the safeguard changes, noting that it does still fall short of the ideal, such as an economy-wide carbon price and limit on the number of carbon credits for certain industries. It is still seen as an important step forward for a credible climate policy, however. The government is expected to pass the legislation for these changes this week, set to start on 1st of July. Things are becoming increasingly tense as time passes, with the Albanese government facing important decisions on multiple fossil fuel projects. Only time will tell if their climate policy will be successful in meeting international targets while still making room for some development.